And this as well today, back in the hot seat moments from now, Kathleen Sebelius will testify before a House committee. There she is, just walking into the room and having her seat at the table there. This is a round 3 for her as she tries to explain what's going on with Obamacare, with the website, and the paltry numbers that just came out this morning are clearly what she will be asked about, among other things. As that gets rolling, we welcome you this morning to a brand new hour now of America's Newsroom. Good morning, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum.
I'm Bill Hemmer. Secretary Sebelius expect to announce a new investigation into Healthcare.gov. That will not stop, though, the tough questions on the low enrollment numbers just released this morning. All right, Team Fox coverage starting this hour. Chris Steyerwalt on new polling numbers show Mr. Obama is digging the deepest hole of his presidency. But first, on the Hill, Mike Emanuel is watching this hearing. What are some of the questions now for Secretary Sebelius, Mike?
Well, Bill, lawmakers on this committee say that Secretary Sebelius' answers were scarce when she testified back on October 30th. So you can expect she's going to get a lot of tough questions about the enrollment numbers, exactly who decided the idea that they should not allow window shopping on Healthcare.gov? How much has the administration spent setting up these healthcare exchanges? Has end-to-end security testing actually happened? We've done a lot of reporting here on Fox about the concerns of computer experts about whether your personal information is actually secure on this website. And bottom line, we expect that she will get asked if she thinks Obamacare is a good deal for the American people, if the website's secure. Will she go on the exchange and actually sign up herself, Bill?
Mike, how do we expect her to handle these questions? What is she going to say today?
Well, as you mentioned, she's calling for an inspector general review more than 2 months after the rollout of the website. And the timing, a lot of people are finding rather interesting. Why did it take more than 2 months to reach this conclusion? Why is it coming out the day that she's actually going to testify on Capitol Hill? So you can expect that she's going to deflect some questions by saying, well, I've asked for an investigation into that. I don't want to get ahead of the investigation, that sort of thing. But bottom line, we've done a lot of reporting here on Fox that there were warnings to the administration last spring, 6 months before the website launch, that there were serious issues with the development of the website. And you can bet that some lawmakers will say, why didn't she admit that back then? And why has it taken so long for her to be straight with the American public and members of Congress? Bill.
Got it, Mike. Thanks. Mike Emanuel waiting for headlines on that. We will take you back inside that hearing room for headlines once the testimony gets underway.
Indeed, we will. As that unfolds on Capitol Hill today, the White House is now hiring a new staffer to help right the ship. Chris Steyerwalt is a Fox News digital politics editor, and he is the host of Power Play on FoxNews.com Live. Chris, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
Quite a bit to go over with you this morning, but let's start with John Podesta, who has been brought back to the White House now. He is, of course, a longtime Clinton loyalist and a very inside ball Washington guy. What do you expect he'll bring to the table here?
Well, he is a Democratic fixer, but he has to be allowed to fix things if he is to be effective. Now, remember, he's one of the founders of the probably most influential Democratic lobbying firm in Washington. He is the leader of the cloutiest sort of PAC and think tank on the left, the Center for American Progress. He is a Clinton loyalist. He is the inside guy. But there was a headline last night that sort of tells the tale of what John Podesta really is, and it seems to be that he's window dressing, because a good example is Podesta, who is an enthusiast about regulations on global warming. It was made clear by the White House that he'll have no influence on one of the most crucial decisions about carbon, which is the Keystone Pipeline. So this is the administration telegraphing early on that Podesta is not going to be cloudy inside the White House, that he is not going to have that kind of influence. And we see a replay of what they've done in the past. They bring in outsiders when they are in big trouble to show their fellow Democrats that they're going to try to fix things. But those guys can't penetrate the inner circle, the sort of Valerie Jarrett universe that surrounds the president and protects him from bad news, protects him sometimes from information, and keeps him insulated.
Yeah, that may be the lesson that Bill Daley learned, right? I mean,
yeah.
That exactly why he was brought in to help sort of mend some fences with corporate America and build those relationships back up and bring all of his experience to bear. You know, really, Chris, it appears that, you know, unless the man at the top wants change in the culture within his presidency, and we see this all the time in the second term, it's very unlikely to happen. Let's take a look at some of these poll numbers, because I do want to get your thoughts on these. This is a presidential approval rating number. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Disapproval number is at 54%, Chris.
Not good. That's not where you'd like to be if you're the president of the United States. And the Wall Street Journal poll is part of a slew of new polling data that's out yesterday and today that all basically tells the same story. There's one outlier poll, but basically they all tell the same story. The pain continues for the president, and it's attaching itself very strongly to Democrats and the Democratic brand. What the White House is focused on, and what the president keeps talking about, and what you'll hear Secretary Sebelius talk about today, are technical fixes, that they can be competent enough to run the government, to administer the new program. But what these polls say is that it is a trust deficit, and that the American people do not believe their commander-in-chief, not that they don't think that he's competent. They don't think he's competent, but they don't trust him either.
Basically what Nancy Pelosi said, you know, like it's just the new version of when you find out what's in it, you're going to like it. It's like, you know, just give it time. Let's take a look at these other two polls before we let you go here. Healthcare law, is it a good idea or a bad idea? 50% say they think it's a bad idea. Let's take a look at the other one. Which, if any, of the following issues the president has had to deal with has been the most important in shaping your opinion of the president? 58% say, yeah, it's all because of this health care law, Chris.
Well, Martha, you've said it before, and you're right again. When you have a bad 6 months at the launch of your second term, and problem after problem and scandals and all of these difficulties, at the moment you need to say to the American people, okay, we screwed up, but we can fix it. That confidence isn't there, and this is setting up to be a tsunami for Democrats if they can't figure out how to get that trust gap closed.
Yeah, they're not too happy about it. And in fact, we're going to talk about that coming up 10 minutes after the hour in a little bit more depth. Chris, thank you very much. Always good to see you. We'll see you next time. Visit our politics page. You can sign up for Chris's daily political newsletter. Go to foxnews.com/Fox News First.
All right. So what do you think now? On Twitter, we're asking you a bit earlier today, what would you ask Kathleen Sebelius?
Oh. And you know what Joel said about that, Bill?
Tell me, Martha.
Here's what he said. Secretary Sebelius, how many people have actually paid their first payment for the Obamacare insurance? That's a good question.
Yeah, critical one, too, right?
Yep.
Michelle tweets, I'd ask her why she still has a job.
Maybe that's not from Michelle Obama. That's from another Michelle.
Right.
Okay, good. Just want to make that clear. Gary tweets this. Has she done any online Christmas shopping?
And Kathleen writes, when did she and President Obama know the website was not working, and why did they roll it out on October the 1st? All
that's
good questions.
That's the multi-billion-dollar question that's been coming up since the beginning of this whole mess. Send us those tweets. We do love to get them at Martha McCallum and at Bill Hemmer. Keep them coming.
You got it. And
Great stuff.
you never disappoint. Thanks for that. 8 minutes past the hour now.